How specific should your strategic plan be? This is one of the #1 questions we get here at Funding for Good. How specific do we need to get? A lot of organizations kind of head down that rabbit trail and then get lost in the drafting process. And it's understandable because there's so many things your organization wants to accomplish. And you risk either being not detailed enough or too detailed. Recently, we had an organization say, our plan wasn't successful because the goals and objectives were so subjective. It was, we want to be the best. We want to have the biggest, or, we want to be thriving. And there wasn't really a way to say, were we successful or not? It was too ambiguous. Others get so very nitty-gritty specific that it's hard to stay on track because life changes and throws us curveballs. So how do we know how much detail to put in? The best example I can give is a travel itinerary. Every year I lead trips down to Guatemala, and I need to promote that trip as much as a year out. So when I get online and I'm sharing the itinerary, I share things such as we're going to depart on this day from a particular airport. We'll arrive and take a shuttle to Antigua, Guatemala, where we'll spend one night before heading to, local communities. We will be there for 3 days. Then we'll head into some Mayan cultural centers and do X, Y, or Z. So anyone who takes a glance at that itinerary will know this is what I can expect. This is our departure date. This is when we start the trip. This is what I can expect on each of the days in a nutshell. And this is when we've arrived at the destination and returned home. That's what I like to consider a strategic plan. So you have a place you're going to be at a specific time. We are going to be in this particular place at this particular time. And how we're going to get there. Your strategy should be in play. So for example, it might be in your strategic plan, we're going to diversify fundraising by hiring a consultant, by expanding, our fees for service or different things. You might have different strategies, but you're not going to get that detailed on how you're going to implement everything in your strategic planning process. That comes next in the action and implementation plan. So essentially your strategic plan should say, here's the vision for this time period. Here's how we know we were successful. So if we said we want thriving, robust programs, what does that mean specifically to our organization? Here are some of the strategies that we're going to employ to achieve these goals. And here are the timelines associated with those tasks and actions. And here are the people who are responsible for overseeing that. So you're working your way down. And in our strategic plans, we usually look broader, our visions and our success indicators for the final year. And then in your year, the very first year of your plan, you want to go one step further and make sure your achievements have been assigned for each quarter and that you have at least your first quarter or your first 90-day action plan in place. So strategic plans are not going to be nitty-gritty implementation plans for the full 3-year period. They're simply kind of the initial itinerary and structure for your successes for the years to come.